seconds to go. So thank you very much for that. And I'm going to hand the microphone first over to Kevin as the label guy. These were the wackiest labels I've seen for a while. What do you think?
They were, my hat off to you, because I think one of the 3 or 4 of the presentations that were really distinctive and unusual. And the fact that you've done it yourself is fantastic. It's a great little cottage industry, it appears to be, where you do everything. Obviously, we're talking here with buyers from supermarkets where labels on shelves you have to say a bit more. So you might have to tool up your design skills a little bit to communicate something more to get a sale. But I think it's a fantastic presentation, really well done.
Joanne, these do look like on-trade labels for me. What do you think?
Yes, I mean, some of them, not this one. This one has moment of silence. You didn't have 3 minutes of moment of silence, by the way. But some of the wines you do, it's just completely blank label. So it doesn't say anything, which is great. Actually, when I saw your first concept and all the explanation, I thought sometimes there's a very thin line between being insane and being genius. You are the latter, which is good. I really like moment of silence, and I like just to be able to have the wine, and especially in the on-trade, to talk about it. Because you can get a sommelier, you can get someone say, look at this wine, say, what's that? Exactly, taste it. So, question for you, how would you put that wine on a wine list? With description, without, with nothing? How would you do it?
I've got no idea. I've never been on a wine list in my life, so...
well, that's not a good start.
I've got no idea. I like people. I like communicating. So if I can find a way where they can communicate straight with me via SMS, or I know QR codes aren't big in South Africa, but stuff like that, I'd rather do that and communicate straight to them, because people buy from me because of trust and variety and that sort of thing. I don't know, does that answer your question?
Andrew, you have got an online business and you've got a shelf business. What do you do with something on a shelf that doesn't say what it is?
We struggle. And I think the most important thing is, the customer doesn't actually understand what it is and its point of difference. But I love your energy and I love your engagement and the thing that you stand for. It's just how you convey that into the kind of retail environment. And I think definitely in the on-trade, so the restaurant world, the hotel world, where you've got a sommelier to sell it, or if you're in an independent stores, forgive me if I'm incorrect, but I think you've got someone to hand sell the story, and what you've got is a story. And whether it's one wine or 23 wines or whatever it is, actually you are the brand. You know, your labels are just a face of what you are. So I think it depends on what you want to do kind of in terms of driving volume and adding profit to your business, or whether you're actually quite happy just being a bit of if I said a fad, it's in a respectful way, but you've got a nice brand identity at the moment. So there's a question to you, is where you're going with this?
Just one thing on my biggest challenge in my business is to explain exactly what I do. So to explain blank bottle is very difficult. People don't understand it just by looking at the label. But once my clients understand what it's all about, it becomes a whole adventure. And my clients are all adventurous wine drinkers. They're not guys that just like any wine. So they prepare to go on an adventure with me. So I can't remember your question now.
How do you actually get it to sell?
What do you want to do? Where are you going?
Okay. I would like, as a person, I would like to produce small volumes of interesting stuff. Anything that is interesting. And yes, I can grow that to a certain extent, but I don't see it becoming 100,000 bottles per wine. It's got to stay small. It's got to stay interesting. Rather, like I say, a bigger range than a larger volume per wine.
Catherine.
Andrew, it's quite funny. We actually had this discussion this morning because I said to Peter, the first question that waitress will ask you is, how does somebody buy a bottle that doesn't say what it is on the label? The judges haven't had as much time as me to actually watch the videos that this guy does, so I'm going to support him a little bit. I have never in my life seen anybody who is able to talk to consumers through video like this guy does. He literally, one of his videos, he puts I can't remember which one it is, one of your wines, he straps it to his bicycle and he takes it on a journey through all the little vineyards that he's actually sourced the grapes from to make this wine. He has an amazing ability to talk to consumers, and so I think in terms of what we were talking about this morning, something like direct wines, or where you can actually show the videos and he can actually explain his wines and where they come from, would be a great opportunity.
Robin, you had a question.
It's more a statement than a question. I have to say your wines fit perfectly into an independent situation like us. Our customers will feel like they've discovered something that they can tell their friends. You don't have to say everything on the label. The customers won't discover that. We can tell the story to them, and it's a great story. But then they'll love telling the story to their friends because it's not all obvious and out there. And I know that's not the way we want the wine trade to be at large, but in our sector, it works a treat. Also, I can see, in addition to it being a perfect hand sell for independents as well as online independents like ourselves, a fantastic opportunity for a few restaurants. Like the Ledbury would love to have their own barrel of this. The Fat Duck would have to have their one. Hakkasan would have their one. You've got no problems finding a sector in this market of that type. And the prices, I think, would be $14.95 retail on average, and in a restaurant, £45. So not cheap, but the right price for these wines. And I can say that, having tried all your wines, you've got a fantastic palate that suits very well the UK market. And it's very encouraging because it means that if we're asking for samples and things and commissions, if you like, you will deliver. And that's very exciting. We don't need to become a Bruce Jack and sell out to a company and see you disappear. We want you to stay where you are and do a lot more of it for many years to come. Well, congratulations.
Thank you for that. Justin.
Peter, Laithwaites are a larger independent wine merchant, but it's exactly the same principle that applies. We sell a lot of our wine direct to customers through shops and through the guys who work on the phone, and they'd love to tell your story. You tell it very well. I saw one or two of your videos, but not the one that Catherine was referring to, and I'll definitely be interested to see more, because your personality and the energy that you put into what you do is exactly what helps sell bottles of wine. It connects with people, and it's exactly the kind of thing we would be looking for. I've got a question for you, though. We talked earlier on about your model in South Africa is direct, so you sell directly from you to the customer. How would you propose to build in enough margin for whoever was going to sell your wine for you to be able to sell a wine at a competitive price?
Initially, when I started Blank Bottle, was priced very low. Through the years, I priced up quite a bit because I knew at a stage someone's going to list it somewhere. So in some of the wines, I've built in margin over the years, and I'm almost there. So there's a bit of margin to negotiate on that. The price I sold initially was the price I would have sold onto a restaurant, straight to the consumer. But I realized it's not going to work in long term, so I've raised that price over the years.
Any other questions from the panel? Yes, Ben.
Would you be prepared to spend some time in the UK market to hand sell your wines like you do in South Africa?
Yes, absolutely. I think that is crucial to what I do. If I can stand before people and sell my own wine, I need to sell a guy one bottle and he'll stay a customer for many years. And I've seen it over with my customers in South Africa. They still, the guys that started out with me, they're still there.
I'd like to say that I agree with a lot of points that Robin made, that I think it would really suit the independent retail sector, and especially if you're prepared to spend some time in the market, it will certainly help build the brand over here.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no more questions from the panel, we will say thank you very much. Good luck. And we're now going to move. We start